Hello, and welcome back. Today we have Platinum Review number 66, Doom. Developed by id Software and published by Bethesda, Doom is a first-person shooter released in 2016 for the PlayStation 4. Representing a reboot for the franchise, Doom was the first major game released since Doom 3, over a decade earlier. Originally planned as Doom 4, the game was stuck in development hell for years before completely starting over from scratch. Before starting, the game allows for a variety of difficulty options, but it is best to experience a little pain, so I chose Hurt Me Plenty. Set in the year 2149, on the planet Mars, the game begins with the main protagonist, the Doomslayer, being awakened by some unseen force.
They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
As Doomslayer breaks free from his confinement, the player takes control and learns the basic combat techniques, utilizing a pistol as well as a melee strike. With the facility in ruins, a holographic video reveals that a strange ritual took place within the UAC.
We have to contain this.
Connecting with a nearby armor suit shows flashes of a demonic presence. To determine the source of the demonic invasion, Doomslayer must restore power to the satellite connection.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
Uninterested in what the director of the UAC, Dr. Hayden, has to say, Doomslayer collects the first codex entry of the game and heads out. Finding and decoding entries, such as data logs, will provide additional lore details and background information to help expand on the narrative. To aid in exploration, the in-game map will show your overall completion progress, unexplored areas of interest, and some collectible locations, as well as how best to proceed towards the main objective. For now, the only available weapon is the pistol, but it does come equipped with a powerful charge shot and unlimited ammo. Once enemies take enough damage, a special prompt will allow for an instant and satisfyingly brutal glory kill. These will automatically provide health drops, with the active health meter accompanied by an additional armor meter for some extra resistance. After a few glory kills, Doomslayer happens upon the first secondary weapon of the game, a combat shotgun. New weapons will have a limited amount of ammo, but are more powerful than the pistol. With his newly acquired firepower, Doomslayer battles through waves of demonic creatures.
cannot be allowed to leave this place. He would ruin everything.
I'm willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk, I assure you.
While exploring, certain pathways will be blocked until you find special colored access keys. In addition to access keys, another item to look out for will be secret hidden toy collectibles. Accompanied by some nostalgic music, these small action figures of Doomslayer will each have a unique art style and color palette. Immediately after proceeding through the Blue Gate, Doomslayer finds a crate of frag grenades and adds them to his arsenal. These powerful explosives must recharge after use before another can be thrown, but the amount available is unlimited, as the grenade is essentially an ability. After taking out the nearby demons, Doomslayer finds a field drone, which will provide a permanent weapon modification. Multiple perks are available with each subsequent field drone discovered, and can be swapped at any time, but only one can be active for each weapon, such as an explosive shot for the combat shotgun. Typically, the in-game map will only show areas you have already explored, but each level will have an auto-map location, which will reveal the map in its entirety, with collectible locations indicated. These made missing collectibles and secrets a non-issue, but if you do miss anything, you can always go back using chapter select later. I found it best to try to get everything before finishing the level, because the more you explore and uncover, the more weapon upgrade points you earn along the way. Weapon upgrade points enhance the perks that you purchase from the field drones, such as reducing the cooldown time between explosive shots on the combat shotgun. After enough weapon upgrade points are spent, a mastery challenge will become available, which is unique to the individual weapon and upgrade. Completing the required combat objective will unlock the final perk. Discovering fallen elite guards will allow Doomslayer to take that suit's Praetor token and add it to his own, providing special enhancements, such as boosted environmental hazard resistance, and eventually, invulnerability. After reaching the airlock station outside the Resource Ops entrance, the level ends, providing a snapshot of your completion progress. While there is a narrative along the way, the basic premise of each level is relatively the same. Doomslayer must annihilate all demonic presence while fully exploring all paths, discovering all secrets, finding all collectibles, and upgrading his suit and weapons. If you miss anything on your first attempt, level select allows you to go back and clean up before moving on. Something I missed the first time was a really cool secret. Most levels will have a sneaky hidden lever to find and pull. This will open up a previously unseen path with a retro theme and throwback enemies from the original games, as the player can explore a small snippet of a classic map. Once everything is complete, Doomslayer continues on his journey to align the communications satellite within the Resource Ops facility. Immediately upon starting the second mission, Vega, an AI being, activates the challenge menu for earning extra weapon upgrade points.
Hello, I am Vega, the sentient intelligence assigned to Mars. After running diagnostics on the Praetor suit, it appears that I can activate optional challenges that, when completed, will assist in upgrading your arsenal at an accelerated pace. I have added a tracking component to your dossier.
These vary from mission to mission and are another criteria for completion, usually requiring specific types of kills or finding secrets.
Main power offline. All entrances not operational.
After taking out the nearby enemies, Doomslayer learns that Olivia Pierce, a crazed researcher, is responsible for releasing the demons from a hell portal in a cult-like ritual.
I believe in honesty, especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world. All the rumors, the human sacrifices, the hell portal, the demons, it's all true. My sisters and brothers, be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat alongside them, just as I will, in what will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
While scavenging dead bodies, Doomslayer comes across a chainsaw embedded in a corpse. This new weapon will cut through enemies with a single strike, while releasing a ton of ammo. Finding gas cans will keep the chainsaw running, with more fuel required to take out larger, more powerful demons. With this, Doomslayer continues his fight through the facility, annihilating anything and everything that stands in his way.
Here at the UAC, we take pride in nurturing a growing workforce, and each year we harness and the UAC, the world is counting on us. How committed are you? Welcome to the UAC's Mars installation, located in the vast Hellas Plain impact basin. This high-tech mining and research facility is pushing the boundaries of the imagination each and every day. As a valued employee, your loyalty is more than just a commitment to the UAC.
At times, special temporary power-ups can be found in the middle of an intense battle. The perk received depends on the individual power-up, and include things such as invulnerability, quad damage, or berserk mode, allowing for one-hit melee strikes.
Blocking your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
Doomslayer is successful in restoring power to the satellite alignment, but his access is blocked by Dr. Hayden, who demands his presence elsewhere.
It's a gift. Take it. It will give you strength, help you on your journey, if you can withstand the power surge.
Upon arriving, Dr. Hayden provides Doomslayer with a cell of Argent energy. This dangerous, yet incredibly powerful energy source will provide a permanent increase to either health, armor, or ammo reserves.
That is pure Argent energy you've just taken into your system. It seems to agree with you. I will unlock the remaining Argent cells within the facility for you. Vega, give him what he wants.
61,337 UAC members deceased. 81% of the facility is on lockdown. Demonic presence through the Mars installation is critical. According to the records, Dr. Hayden, the invasion originated in the Lazarus facility. It seems that a hell wave was activated, transforming 64% of all UAC employees into the creatures you see roaming throughout the facility. The rest were killed by the demons released from their holding cells by Olivia Pierce.
You may not agree with our research, but know this. We exploited Hell and its resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. What you now see in this facility is the cost of progress. But none of that matters now.
There is an emergency in the foundry. The regulators have been destroyed and the core temperatures are now destabilizing.
They've overrun the adjacent facility. If the venting turbines aren't re-engaged, neither of us will survive the meltdown.
Dr. Hayden defends his actions and those of his researchers, but an emergency meltdown alert within the foundry cuts the conversation short as the mission ends. With the truth revealed, the aftermath of Olivia Pierce's actions has left the entire facility in jeopardy, as Doomslayer fights his way through the demonic presence that stands between him and preventing the meltdown.
The facility will not allow you access to the turbine room unless the demonic threat level is brought down inside the foundry. Our security systems cannot be overridden.
Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown
You filled out your
disengaged.
UAC accidental death and
Turbine room doors now
See
open.
Jessica and Human Resources for assistance.
Once the demonic presence is reduced enough to release the lockdown, Doomslayer activates the cooling turbine, stopping the imminent meltdown. However, The threat of devastation persists, courtesy of Olivia Pierce, who is confronted by Doomslayer but protected behind an impenetrable barrier.
Authorization: Olivia Pierce. Alpha 402.
She has locked me out, Dr. Hayden.
All power rerouted to Argent Energy Tower.
She is trying to tear open the portal between our world and theirs.
Olivia proceeds to divert all power into a nearby Argent Tower, so Doomslayer heads to the surface in an attempt to stop the opening of a portal between Mars and Hell, as the mission ends.
You could not have saved them anyway.
To stop Olivia Pierce, Doomslayer must disable multiple Argent filters, but as always, demonic enemies stand in the way.
Olivia is using the tower to drill a doorway into their world. You can prevent her from opening the gate by disabling the tower induction filters.
Starting with this fourth mission are special rune trials to discover. These time-limited challenges can be attempted as many times as needed to satisfy the combat objective. Defeating enemies will reward additional time, with extra time rewarded for glory kills. Completing the rune trial successfully will unlock a new rune slot, which can add combat and non-combat related perks, such as increased range for item pickup. However, the perk will not be activated until reaching a certain threshold unique to each rune, such as gathering 300 item drops. From here, Doomslayer blasts and smashes his way through the tower until he reaches the first Argent filter.
We're only temporarily disabling the tower. You need to remove each lens individually. Carefully release the hinges.
Warning. Energy contamination detected.
Destroying the production of Argent energy isn't necessary.
Despite Dr. Hayden's pleas, Doomslayer destroys the filter, and thus stops the production of new Argent energy.
What you are destroying is more valuable than you can possibly imagine. It is a perfect and unlimited energy resource.
He could have simply taken them offline, but Doomslayer doesn't trust Dr. Hayden enough to do so, and proceeds to find and destroy all 3 Argent filters, shutting down the Argent Tower in the process.
Stopping our energy production is what you want, then you need only to destroy this last filter, and Argent energy will no longer exist in this solar system. We will be back at square one.
Argent energy will no longer exist in this solar system, but Doomslayer won't lose any sleep over it.
Olivia is still alive. I've detected her life signature at the Argent Tower. She has removed one of the accumulators from the tower base. It has a unique energy signature that we can track.
Well, that's it then. There's nothing else to be done.
Shortly after, Doomslayer learns that Olivia is still alive, and Vega has tracked her location, so he sets out to find and kill her as the mission ends.
Primary access points to the tower were destroyed in the explosion. The pipeline is damaged but still intact. There are thrust boots in the maintenance hangar. You can use them to traverse the pipeline.
To climb the tower and reach Olivia, Doomslayer searches for thruster boots that will allow him to reach high up areas. With these, Doomslayer can now utilize a double jump, adding a new layer to the parkour and gameplay mechanics. After a treacherous and demon-filled journey, Doomslayer reaches a now severely injured and gruesome-looking Olivia, who retreats with an Argent accumulator, still determined to open a portal to Hell.
That's an Argent accumulator she's carrying. She'll try to use it to open a portal manually into Hell.
While the Argent Tower is non-functional, the connection to their dimension is still viable. We are at great risk, Dr. Hayden.
Countless demons stand between Doomslayer and Olivia, including new monstrous and powerful foes, such as Mancubus and Summoners. To reach the top of the tower, Doomslayer must exterminate them all, while carefully jumping and climbing across perilous obstacles. As Doomslayer reaches the top of the tower, he realizes that he is too late.
This is not the end! It's only the beginning!
Olivia is successful in opening a portal as demons ambush and overwhelm Doomslayer, sending him to hell in the process.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He is here.
Now within the inner sanctum of Hell, Doomslayer must fight his way through enemy territory, taking on new powerful demonic monsters to find a way back to Mars. While traversing the harsh terrain of this foreign dimension, Doomslayer encounters flashes from the UAC's past that help guide him towards a potential exit. After a little while, an artifact provides stories of an ancient warrior, known as Doomslayer. Narrated by an unseen demonic voice, these testaments detail Doomslayer's battles against demonic forces throughout time and space, his rise to power, and eventual entrapment within a tomb in Hell. It is not clear if Doomslayer immediately realizes that these refer to himself, but the lore is valuable background information for the player.
In the first age, in the first battle, when the shadows first lengthened, one stood, burned by the embers of Armageddon, his soul blistered by the fires of hell, and tainted beyond ascension. He chose the path of perpetual torment. In his ravenous hatred, he found no peace, and with boiling blood, he scoured the umbral plains, seeking vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him. He wore the crown of the Night Sentinels, and those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doom Slayer. His conquest against the blackened souls of the doomed, his prowess was shown. In his crusade, the Seraphim bestowed upon him terrible power and speed, and with his might he crushed the obsidian pillars of the blood temples. He set forth without pity upon the beasts of the 9 circles. Unbreakable, incorruptible, unyielding, the Doom Slayer sought to end the dominion of the Dark Realm.
After numerous intense battles through highly volatile and perilous situations, Doomslayer overcomes waves upon waves of demonic monsters and finds a way back to Mars as the mission ends. Now back in the Argent facility, Doomslayer must find a way to shut down the Hell Portal.
The Argent Tower is destroyed. The portal can no longer be closed from this side. The Hell energy flows from a location in their world we call the Well. But you've returned. The only flesh and blood to walk between dimensions. So there may be a way. Olivia has an artifact in her private lab that we've been studying for years. I believe you can use it to find the answers you seek. It bears your mark.
Olivia's personal laboratory is not part of the registered facilities database. Alpha-level clearance will be required to locate it. Granted.
You can access her Lazarus facility from the north sector of the Advanced Research Complex, about 80 kilometers away.
In search of answers, Vega guides Doomslayer towards Olivia's private lab, found within the Lazarus facility. To reach the far-off Advanced Research Complex, Doomslayer heads for the UAC tram station. Of course, this is no easy task, as countless enemies stand between him and the tram.
Demonic breach detected.
Once all the enemies are cleared out, Doomslayer activates the tram and heads for the Lazarus facility as the mission ends. As the tram arrives within the Advanced Research Complex, Doomslayer receives an incoming transmission from Dr. Hayden, wishing to meet in person.
It's time we meet in person. My office is on the second floor of this facility.
To reach Dr. Hayden, Doomslayer must fight through waves of demons waiting around every corner, and along the way, he discovers that a rift had developed between Olivia Pierce and Dr. Hayden.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
I believe in our work, but in order to make progress, we will have to make even greater sacrifices.
This isn't progress, it's madness. The board understands the peculiar nature of your work, and no one is in the dark on what those sacrifices mean to mankind. But your judgment is no longer considered sound.
After clearing the demonic presence, Doomslayer finally meets Dr. Hayden face to face.
Do not be alarmed by the system update. It is a prototype of our interdimensional tether. A means for me to pull you back from hell. I'm sorry for the jolt, but I didn't think you'd allow its installation voluntarily. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I have supplies in my office. This way, please.
Within his office, Dr. Hayden details an ancient artifact that may hold the key to closing the Hell Portal.
All of our work and understanding of their world is derived from the inscriptions on a large stone artifact we pulled from Hell in the earliest days of the program. We call it the Helix Stone. The Helix Stone showed us how to harness the power of the well. I believe it will show you how to shut it down. For years, Olivia has kept the Helix in her private office in the Lazarus Labs, which is only accessible through a secure elevator from the Advanced Research Complex across the chasm. Your affinity for guns is apparent. I'm confident you'll find something useful there as well.
To reach the Helix Stone, Doomslayer must fight his way through even more hordes of deadly demons, but his efforts are greatly rewarded when he discovers a special weapon within the lab.
Retinal scan failed. Access denied. Yellow security clearance required. Access granted. Hello, Dr. Peters.
The BFG is an overpowered monster of a weapon that will pretty much obliterate all enemies in an instant. To balance the immense firepower, the BFG does have a very limited ammo capacity, so it must be used carefully and strategically for optimal performance. Annihilating all demons in the blink of an eye added to the chaotic mayhem of battle, providing Doomslayer with a counter to the swarms of high-powered enemies that could overwhelm him quickly, tipping the scale back in his favor. With the BFG, Doomslayer fights through the demonic presence and finally reaches the elevator to the Lazarus facility as the mission ends. As Doomslayer heads for the Helix Stone, he uncovers some details about Olivia's past, as well as his own.
You'll find the Helix Stone in Olivia's private archival lab deep within this facility. Few have ever seen the stone. But if you came to us for a reason, you might be able to see something in it we haven't.
It is not a mistake that he has come into our possession. The demons prophesized his return. If he awakes, it could jeopardize the entire mission, for he is the only one who can stand against them.
The facility is completely overrun with demons, but Doomslayer destroys every last one, as he is determined to reach the stone.
Olivia activated the Hell Wave from somewhere inside this facility. I did hope she could rise above their influence. I was wrong. She proved to be weaker than I thought she'd be.
It was Samuel. He led them to his tomb. Please, we can overcome this. I promise. The gate will be opened as planned.
After finally reaching the artifact, a strange vision is triggered, showing the crucible.
The Crucible. That's what she was looking for. Vega, did you get the location?
Yes. It is located in an uncharted region of the Titan's realm, but we'll need to rupture another Argent accumulator to create the portal.
To reach the crucible, Doomslayer must acquire another accumulator to reach Hell once again. An incoming attack cuts the conversation short, as Doomslayer gets back to what he does best. After clearing the enemies, Dr. Hayden admits that he is the one who awoke Doomslayer from his chamber in order to combat Olivia's increasingly irrational behavior and practice.
This Hellwave will redirect the course of mankind. On this day, we make our contribution to their cause. Our salvation lies with them.
I pulled you from that tomb in the Cadinger Sanctum for this reason. I knew she was weak. Our work doesn't come without risks, and I released you from your prison to help mitigate those risks. I knew that in the event of a catastrophe, you'd be the only thing that could stop them.
Unfortunately, Doomslayer soon learns that acquiring the accumulator is no easy task, as it is embedded within a massive and powerful boss, the Cyber Demon. Even the BFG is not enough to take down this monstrosity, as Doomslayer must chip away at the demon's health. With enough damage, the Cyber Demon will fall, opening a portal back to Hell, but this proves to have dire consequences. Upon arriving, the Cyber Demon is revived, now more dangerous than ever. Eventually, the Cyber Demon is taken out for good, and the mission ends. As expected, the journey through Hell is a treacherous one, filled with countless demons, but Doomslayer must reach the Crucible, as there is no turning back now. After blasting his way through the maze-like tunnels and dark chambers of the necropolis, Doomslayer reaches the Crucible, but acquiring it will be no easy task, as it is heavily protected by Hell Guards. The Hell Guards are no match for Doomslayer, as he reclaims the Crucible and is teleported back to Mars as the mission ends. Although he has the Crucible, reaching the source of the Hell Portal and shutting it down requires a massive amount of power and energy. Unfortunately, the only available source is Vega.
This is my primary operating facility. It is where I was created and where my core processing unit is maintained. It takes approximately 2.4 terawatts of power to sustain my operational capabilities, but it has been decided that we can use that power to send you to the source of the portal. I will not survive the procedure and am unable to self-terminate, so I will walk you through the process.
Left with no other option, Vega guides Doomslayer through the process of destabilizing his system core.
My security systems operate on 2 separate neural networks that terminate in this maintenance facility. Each termination point is protected by an electrified field, but you should survive the surge.
Auxiliary neural security network offline.
My vital operating systems are now vulnerable. I recommend destroying my coolant system first.
Core temperature reaching critical levels.
For you to gain access to my core, the demonic threat must be removed from ahead.
vacuum of energy will pull you back through to hell. We have your destination set to the well's location. Now use the crucible to power it down, and the portal here on Mars will be closed permanently. They will not allow access to the well without a fight. I'm sure that's what you're looking for, isn't it?
As Vega slowly deteriorates, Doomslayer reaches and destroys the core as the mission ends. Vega's sacrifice was not in vain, as Doomslayer arrives back in Hell, ready to shut down the portal once and for all. The demons are not going down without a fight, as they send everything they have at Doomslayer in the hopes of stopping him. After a long and hard-fought battle through the depths of hell, Doomslayer is successful in freeing some lost souls, and the end of his journey is nearly within reach. That is, until Olivia reappears.
They promised me so much.
Olivia is merged into the final boss of the game, the Spider Mastermind. This incredibly powerful demon will push Doomslayer to his limit, and can absorb several attacks with little damage taken. The Spider Mastermind is just as strong as it is tanky, with fearsome strikes of its own that can wipe out Doomslayer in quick order. It is essential to carefully learn the attack patterns to avoid incoming attacks, and to counter effectively. boss was definitely no joke and took a lot of practice, but with enough persistence and willpower, Doomslayer will slowly and methodically wear down the spider mastermind and emerge victorious, closing the Hell Portal before returning to Dr. Hayden, who takes the Crucible for himself, intending to continue his work.
You've won. It's over. You stopped the invasion and closed the portal. But it's come at a price. Argent, Vega, this entire operation. But with this, we can continue our work. I am not the villain in this story. I do what I do because there is no choice.
Rerouting tether coordinates complete.
Our time is up. I can't kill you, but I won't have you standing in our way. Until we see each other again.
And with that, the campaign is over. If you have been completing everything along the way, you should have earned a bunch of trophies in the process. These include finding all data logs, acquiring and earning mastery for all weapon mods, finding all collectibles, fully upgrading health, armor, and ammo capacity by finding all Argent cells, earning and upgrading all runes, fully upgrading the Praetor suit, and completing all mission challenges. If you have missed anything, Mission Select can be utilized to go back and clean up your completion. However, there is one major glitch in the trophy system that after almost a decade after release has still not been fixed, at least as of the making of this video, and that is regarding the runes. In order to avoid the glitch, it is essential to find and complete all rune challenges within a level before finishing it. If you miss one and complete it later through either Mission Select or the rune menu, it will not count and cannot be repeated. If this happens, you can find yourself earning the trophy for upgrading all runes, but not having the one for earning them, even though you have a full wheel. The only solution is to start a new game and make sure to find and complete all challenges before moving on. I have no idea why this hasn't been patched yet, but it is definitely something you want to avoid, so a guide is definitely recommended to not make the mistake I did. Otherwise, Mission Select is a useful tool in earning all combat-related trophies and in-game upgrades to find the perfect enemy encounter for your needed objective. None of the in-game challenges or trophies were difficult to earn once the proper setup was found, and restarting a checkpoint allows for quick completion. Most combat objectives will be completed through natural gameplay, so be sure to mix things up and utilize all weapon mods and different combinations. The challenges and trophies required mastery of all gameplay elements and styles, so you will be proficient in all areas of combat by the time you're done. In addition to the single-player campaign, Doom does have multiplayer trophies and online gameplay. Usually, I dread having to earn competitive multiplayer trophies, but these were simple, only requiring you to win one match and to reach level 5, which should only take a couple games. Luckily, the multiplayer experience was actually a lot of fun, with the same chaotic, fast-paced feel of the campaign that lends itself naturally to a competitive setting. The game types were diverse, with customizable loadouts, and even the ability to turn into a demon yourself. Later DLC added new weapons, armor, and demon types, with unique trophies of their own, but I didn't play beyond the minimum requirements for the Platinum Trophy. I may go back later and check them out, as this was by far one of the more enjoyable online games that I've played. If you enjoy online multiplayer, I recommend giving this a try, as it really was a good time. In addition to competitive multiplayer, Doom also has a deep and extensive custom map building tool called SnapMap. This allows for the creation of some PvE levels with wave-based mechanics or some truly creative game types. Custom maps can be uploaded for other players to test with constructive feedback and a rating system. For a trophy, you must complete the basic and advanced tutorials and upload one custom map. If creating custom maps is your thing, then I highly recommend checking this out, as the pool of available tools was quite deep, with ways to program enemy movement, behavior, and ways to link together different actions for a ton of options, with some epic and impressive community creations available to try. Now, all that remains for the Platinum Trophy is Ultra Nightmare mode. Luckily, the trophy only requires the completion of the first level. Otherwise, this would be impossible for me. Ultra Nightmare is exactly as it sounds, and is the toughest challenge any Doom player can take on. This adds the highest difficulty with an unforgiving permadeath setting. Dying just once, no matter how far into the game, will automatically start the game back from the beginning. Honestly, I have no idea how anyone completes the entire game this way, and if you are able to do so, that is a truly impressive feat. The first mission is relatively short and simple, with a limited number of weapons, but also a limited variety of demons. The gameplay reminded me of playing the original Halo, but sped up. You have a pistol, shotgun, grenades, and a melee strike. You must move with purpose, and can't hesitate, as the enemies can take you out very fast and from all angles. Your reflexes and timing must be sharp, with clean platforming, fast reaction time, and precise shots. Be careful of wonky hitboxes and utilize explosives strategically, as a run could be abruptly ended by a wayward blast. The worst enemies were definitely the imps, who were annoyingly fast and spastic in their movements. Their unpredictable nature allowed them to flank you and strike you down before you even knew where they were. With enough patience and practice, this challenge is eventually beatable and satisfyingly rewarding. For this footage, the gameplay is actually that of Phantom Violet 117. Check out her channel with the link in the description. I had just spent hours speedrunning through most of the game a second time to get the rune trophy that glitched for me, and had very little patience for Ultra Nightmare mode, but was just ready to be done, so I gave it a try. After countless failed and rage-inducing attempts, I took a break. Fresh from not having played Doom at all, let alone Ultra Nightmare, Phantom Violet 117 hopped right into the toughest difficulty, and in barely an hour, beat the mission. The next day, I did go back and beat it when my head was calm and clear, but the Platinum Trophy was already earned, so I didn't record. Overall, Doom is an amazing game, and may have had a long development process, but the end result is a masterpiece. Starting over from scratch was the right call, as the gameplay is diverse, smooth, and responsive. The demonic world is engulfed with hectic and carnage-filled mayhem, yet has composed movement and calculated counter-strikes. Doom is a violent and brutal madness, but it is a game of controlled chaos. No matter how crazy the on-screen action, things were never out of your control. Accompanied by a perfectly fitting and kick-ass soundtrack, Doom immersed the player in a world of heavy metal, explosive bloodshed, and hellish landscape. The combat is action-packed and fast-paced, yet refined. With no reloading required or advanced evasive maneuvers, the gunfights are simple, yet command a great deal of precision and skill to overcome the odds. And this is what makes Doom so great. Simple doesn't mean easy. The player is equipped with a diverse and ever-growing arsenal of weapons that scales in tandem with the increasingly deadly demonic presence. The diverse array of monsters each encompass a variety of strengths and weaknesses, forcing the player to utilize all combat techniques, oftentimes in quick succession. Some enemies are massive, bullet spongy, and hit with extreme damage, while others are incredibly quick, aggressive, and attack in diverse patterns. The danger is real and heavily weighs on the player at all times, knowing death is just around the corner at any moment. Doomslayer is taking on the army of hell, and the threat is felt accordingly. I highly recommend this game to anyone that is a fan of the original games, as it stays true to the spirit of the classic with an updated and modern take. In a world full of gimmicky and soulless first-person shooters, Doom stands apart, with stunning visuals and a clearly defined, hellish art style. The game is gruesome, unique, and simply fun. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time for Platinum Review number 67.